her wrist. She was getting paid. She ain't think a thing, but she was thinking slay. We blade thicker than a snigger bait. Talking about she don't come with no baggage. Y'all in her bag, I probably should. I'm really just running for money. I'm love flow, Joe chasing a check. I'm really gonna run up the money. Hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. Calm moving through these Hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. I'm the best. Calm moving through these Hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed. Calm moving through these Hoovers, I maneuver with the bag, baby. Never feeling stressed.
See the best of them, Jando. 25 to life in the Cansto. Never met a man that they can't talk. We're talking on the phones, they can hear us.
When you got dumb cake up in the say that they be waiting for you in the bushes.
All right, Coach, we are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Nothing like the fanfare of introductions to an NFL game, and that was in evidence a moment ago. Fireworks, pyrotechnics, you name it. This crowd is ready as their guys get set to match up between the Cleveland Browns and the New York Jets. Now it's Duke Johnson here on the return, spinning away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line.
Lucky 56. Leopard.
A first carry now for Nick Chubb across the 30 to the 31-yard line. A gain of 3, second down.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
They go with Chubb on second down. A little track jump. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. It's a gain of 10, and the Browns are going to get a first down.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. In this defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
319!
On first down, they'll run with Chubb, and he'll push his way up to about the 44 here. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half, maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
All right, here we go. 319!
A give. This is Chubb. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Now a whistle, and I think a penalty here for a delay. No, they're going to say timeout. They did get the timeout in time. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter.
Watch you now, Barney! Barney!
They'll run for it. Here's Chubb shedding through the defense. That is not going to be any help as they dump him behind the line of scrimmage. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be 4th down. So on 4th down, here's Marquette King to punt it away. And just a single punt for him in the loss last week as he sends this one away. Oh, he'll field it in the end zone. Now, a nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And the Jets will take over 1st and 10. Darnold going to lead the Jets up now, 1st and 10 at their own 12-yard line. On 1st and 10, Darnold. Pressure gets to him, and down he goes. Back at the 4-yard line.
Didn't have the greatest field position to start, did they? And now after this sack, it's way, way worse.
And right off the bat, first play of the game. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down.
Now let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90!
And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. It'll be a loss of a yard, and they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here.
Gun! 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 Now let's go! Blue 90! Blue 90!
From his own goal line, Darnold. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Fielded at the 43. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Browns have a short field in front of them now as they take over 1st and 10. And now the Browns coming out on the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or...
He'll be taken down. The Jets get in there for the sack. Grady Jarrett in there to sack him, and that is 10 for him now on the year. And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Mayfield now from the 50. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
The beauty of being able to play a zone defense when you can sit back and see the ball coming out of the quarterback's hands, guess what? Creates a lot of confusion, kind of a muddle in the middle of the field where you can go make a play on the football.
Now let's go! Green 39! Green 39!
Now some movement before the snap. And we'll hear from our referee for the first time this afternoon. So the false start certainly doesn't help matters as they'll try again now, 3rd and long.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Open receiver, that's David Njoku. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Barney, Barney.
midfield on first down. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. It'll be a pickup of only a yard, and it'll make it second down. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this 2nd and 9.
No. Check. Patriot.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, good footwork on the spin. And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
All right, Brand, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
First carry now. This is Johnson. And a short gain here down to the 22. Give him a couple on the run as it brings up a 4th down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And his kick is good. And the Browns are out to a 3-0 lead. So that's a 7-play drive that ultimately stalls out there at the end.
And things were a little leaky in the beginning on that drive, weren't they? But how about the front 7? As they got closer to their goal line, things stiffened a little bit, forced the field goal.
And New York set to take the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency. Move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Now a play fake here on first down. And that is incomplete.
And it is true. You can draft the fastest. You can draft the most athletic guys. But if they don't know the art of positioning, sometimes it's all for naught. In this case, in the right spot, help force the incompletion.
Yeah, had his hands on it for a second. Would have been a tough catch, though. Falls incomplete. 2nd down and 10, Darnold. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked up by Denzel Ward. And they are going to set up shop at the 40-yard line.
And, Brandon, this is a real nice job defensively of getting inside a quarterback's head and figuring out, okay, where's he going with the football? Because you can make an educated guess defensively. Not all the time, but sometimes. And when you're right, you've got a decent chance of coming away with the football.
Gun!
Following the interception, Mayfield airing this one out for Evans. And that one falls incomplete. Looked like he might have had position there, but he couldn't hold on at 2nd down.
But one thing's for sure, when you've got a big receiver and you trust him downfield, you got to give him opportunities to go up and get that 50-50 ball.
And he is a darn good big receiver. Unfortunately, that time didn't work out. Nice job defensively. They'll run it now out of the gun. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. Henry Anderson, big man from Stanford there for the stop. Pretty good little 2-play sequence there. You force the incompletion, then a very short pickup.
Yeah, now maybe you bring in an extra defensive back or two because you want to try and defend on 3rd down. They like to play those nickel or sub packages, don't they?
Back with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Browns with a football to begin quarter number 2. The Browns on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 9. From the gun, Mayfield. He rifles one that's intercepted. Marcus May with a pick. Then he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. They're trying to resurrect his confidence. Last week was a disaster. 5 interceptions in that loss and another pick there.
I played with a quarterback like this before, and he had a tough game, and the head coach said, I'll take him, I'll fix him. The very next game, he started out the exact same way, and the head coach turned to the offense coordinator and said, he's yours from now on. Someone has to take responsibility and work with him and try and get him settled.
That throw good for 4. It's 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6.
Leopard! Set!
They'll fake the handoff. Now Darnold. That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And they'll get this down to the 10. First target, first catch, and a first down.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Okay, no score on that play, but this guy's been a touchdown machine all year long. You know they trust him with the football.
Green 39! Green 39! Black 99 Philly, here we go!
He'll get it up the middle. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. A gain of 5, but not enough. Leads to a 4th and goal. On now is the kicker, Jason Myers, for the field goal try. And Myers able to knock it through, and that will tie us at 3-3. So they do get 3 points, but that's now 3 drives with only the 3 points, not a ratio that's going to win you many ball games.
Not at all, Brandon, and think about it this way. We all know payoff is the key, right? And wouldn't we love to have the concession on every T-shirt that's been printed in football that says finish on it? Because that's the mantra everywhere. Got to be able to finish drives, put points on the board.
Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
Watch him now, Barney, Barney.
They start on the ground with Nick Chubb. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
And his throw's going to be incomplete. David Njoku was the intended receiver. 3rd down here. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
Blue 90! Gun, gun! Gun, gun! Hot! Hot!
Play fake. Mayfield. And incomplete. The contact made the ball roam free and brings up 4th down. Seems like this defense, especially the secondary, has really been contesting about every throw in this first half.
Remind me of a good half-court defensive basketball team. Every time a pass is thrown, they're right there in good defensive position, able to affect the play.
On is the punter King to send it away. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Jets will have a short field to work with as they take over 1st and 10. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
A 1st down throw, Darnold. And now this is intercepted. My goodness. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. He's at the 40, the 20. 10, and he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown. Well, we know this defense has athleticism. Spots like that prove us right.
I love the way that you spotlighted the athleticism because you and I both know the best athletes on the field, they play on defense.
Oh, I don't know. I was a kicker. You got to remember that now.
Come on, come on.
Fine. This one fielded at the 5. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Now the Jets offense gets ready to head back on the field. And following the pick six, and they had decent field position in throwing that pick six. We'll see how they attack this drive.
And I think all you say to your guy is, listen, let's just take care of the football a little bit better. Make some better decisions on this drive, and they'll probably help him a little bit with maybe some really high percentage throws early to let him get settled back in.
But they told him and they told us they've got confidence. That's not a problem.
Yeah, not a problem at all. They just want to make sure they get things settled down a little bit for their offense and give their defense a little bit of a chance to rest.
Here we go now. Green, 39.
To throw on second down is Darnold. Got his man, Robbie Anderson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. His first catch, good for 16 and a first.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
And down to the 44, 5 yards that time.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down. A very solid gain on that play.
Detroit! Detroit! All right, here we go.
On second down, Darnold throwing for his running back, and he's got him complete. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. On first down, it's Darnold. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Joe Schobert in there to take him down and to take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We'll come back to MetLife Stadium after this short timeout. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. He sets to fire deep. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Picked up by Brian Body Calhoun. And a good return here as he takes it up past the 30-yard line. Well, that's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating certain amounts to charity for each interception that he throws.
Mayfield now looking to throw on first down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
Sure, that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10.
No. Check. Patriots. Patriots.
Throwing again, Mayfield on 2nd and 10. Dumping it off for Johnson. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. It's a gain of 7, and that's going to bring up a 3rd down.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And that's the reason why. What we just saw, shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play. One-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those, too.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky.
3rd and short yardage. Mayfield. The open man is Smith. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Gun!
First down, Mayfield. This is caught. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Mike Evans His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Browns add 6 to their lead. It's up and good, and that makes it 17-3. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. Oh, look at that. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Here's the Jet offense now. They head out to take over. And 3 interceptions in this game. And I would have to think, I wasn't a quarterback, but number 4 is kind of, you're like, oh, man, I can't throw 4.
No, what's interesting is, what do the coaches decide to do now? Having thrown 3, do you alter your offensive strategy? Do you take the ball out of his hands and maybe turn to the running game? Or do you have that supreme confidence that he's going to turn things around?
We'll see what they do. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Exactly what they needed right there, because they needed to use the ground game to take some pressure off, because the quarterback's been struggling a little bit.
Detroit! Detroit!
They go play action here on first down. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And they will set up shop at their own 41-yard line. We haven't even escaped the first half, and he's already thrown 4 picks.
And Brandon, back in the good old days, probably back before you were born, if your starter threw 4 in the first half, he might throw 8 or more for the game because they weren't going to pull him out. But nowadays, the patience level isn't quite there. He's going to have to make some real adjustments, or the backup may see some time.
Mayfield now. And it's incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41.
Green, 39!
On 2nd down, Mayfield again. Over the middle to Evans. And he'll get up to the 43-yard line. Now here's a timeout defensively. Defensive timeout called by the Jets, as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. The Browns on 3rd down. They've converted just 2 for 6 thus far. This is 3rd and 8.
Now let's go! Green, 39! Green, 39!
Mayfield off the play fake. Got an open man. He completes it to Callaway. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. And now before this first down play, we're going to get a timeout here, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
All right, here we go. 3-19!
On 1st and 10, Mayfield airing this one out for Evans. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down. What a difference a week makes. Last week, he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week, he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league.
And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off near the 26. And his guys have got it back at the closing stages of the first half. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget, compartmentalize, whatever you want to call it, and move on. He hasn't been able to do so here in the second.
And now we won't see a play on first down. We're going to get a timeout instead, as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
On first down, Darnold. And that is is incomplete. 7 seconds remaining. Jabril Peppers, a former first-round pick, there on the coverage. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10.
Gun! Here we go now. 319. 319.
Watch safety creeping.
Gun!
Check 24.
Gun!
A shotgun snap for Darnold. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And with just 1 second remaining in the first half, they'll call the timeout. So on is Jason Myers. He's hit from as long as 58 in his career. They'll spot it at the 47, so call it a 57-yard attempt. And this is good from 57 yards out. That was bombs away right there. So we come upon halftime, and it's the visiting Browns with the lead. As we'll get you down the coast to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. This one fielded at the 5. He'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. And the Jets set to take the field. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is a really important drive. And we often talk about teams scripting plays to start a game. A lot of them script to start the second half, too. And they're scripting something that they expect to get them into the end zone and back into this game.
We'll see if that script is a good one for them.
We got four down.
Here's Darnold now on 2nd down. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down.
Detroit!
3rd and long, it's Darnold. Letting one go deep for a Nunwa. And now here is another interception. Picked up by the Michigan man, Jabril Peppers. And they get the football. They'll set up shop at their own 49-yard line. Charles, whatever's going on between his ears right now, it's just not completely calculated correctly. 7 picks between last week and this week after that one.
And they always say the most important part of a player is those 6 inches between the ears. But right now, it's all those interceptions that are going on. So whoever his trusted confidant is on the sidelines, I don't know if it's the offensive coordinator, quarterback's coach, maybe the backup quarterback, that's who he needs to get with now.
And the Jets pressure too much as down he goes. Leonard Williams in there to get him, and that's sack number 8 for him on the year. And they need to work to at least get some of this yardage back after the sack. 2nd and 19.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Throwing, Mayfield. And he's got this one complete to Callaway. And a pretty little juke move there on a nice gain. And they'll get 9 there as that sets him up better for 3rd down. Okay, so now the question, how did he get that wide open?
Well, we both know that he shouldn't, because from the time they handed out scouting reports before this game, he was circled, starred, everything. Find him, cover him. But sometimes you can scheme a guy open. You put the receivers in a bunch. Maybe you move some motion. Maybe you put them on the backside of a formation, and all of a sudden you've got a better matchup. Every now and then, the offensive guys, they figure a way to get him open, even with everyone keeping eyes on him.
And that's certainly a guy they want to keep trying to scheme open. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
On is the punt team now as this one's sent away. The Jets offense now works their way back onto the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack him here. And on the ground they go with a running back. Pretty nice move, but not a ton of space there. They stop him shy of the 25. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Watch you now, Barney! Barney!
Darnold. And his throw here's incomplete.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Now Darnold. Eluding the pressure right. Letting one. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Denzel Ward. He was looking for a Nunwa there. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
Here's Nick Chubb as they try to fire up this run game. And a 5-yard gain as he's down inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Gun, gun!
Hot on, hot on. 5 down, 5 down. Stand up in.
Gun, gun! Gun, gun!
Mayfield now on second down.
That's mine, that's mine.
His throw caught at about the 5. 23 yards on the play. Well, we know he's got the speed there. He needed the speed and the hands. A great catch.
And because of that speed, you have to respect it as a defender. So you have to either play off or make sure you're somehow in contact with him, and he's able to do exactly what you said. Use the speed to his advantage and go up and get the football. That's a big-time play right there.
They'll run with Chubb. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have to go to the air.
Play action now. Here's Mayfield. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Marcus May with a pick. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. Wow, between last week and this week, that's now 8 interceptions. 5 a week ago, now 3 here.
Well, he is so lucky that one of the defense coordinators I played for, a man named Ken Donahue, is not there right now. Because he saw that happen during his coaching career, and he grabbed a quarterback in the midst of a streak like this and said, tell you what, son, why don't you throw it to the defensive guys, and let's see if our receivers can intercept it.
Well, he's got to figure something out because the current formula is not working.
Watch you now, Barney! Barney!
After the interception, here's Darnold. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. A nice gain at 21 yards. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. He got 29 yards that time. This quarterback now 5 straight completions here in this second half. 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. And Ndamukong Suh makes the tackle. Now the offense going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Hey. 4 down, 4 down.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
Darnold from the gun. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Give him 9 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 1. Back now here on EA Sports. It's Jet football, but they trail here as we start the 4th quarter.